What is up everyone, Barricade here, and I'm bringing you guys a quick Gears of War 4 video. I'm actually bringing you something a little different than usual. I don't know if you really want to call it a lore per se, but it is actually something filled with lore, and I thought you guys would enjoy it. So let's get started here. We're going to be talking about the Gears of War timeline from beginning to present. And I'm just going to go ahead and state the years things happen and things of that nature. So, to get us started here today, 80 before Emergence Day. So 80 years before Emergence Day. A long-running global conflict begins to sweep the world of Sera, as the coalition of ordered governments and the Union of Independent Republics fight over emulsion energy resources. This becomes known as the Pendulum Wars. 17 years before Emergence Day, Infantry Lieutenant Victor Hoffman holds the besieged Anvil Gate garrison against the UIR forces and makes his name. Adam Phoenix, a weapons physicist, leaves the army to work on his dream of the ultimate deterrent, an orbital laser weapon to end the Pendulum Wars. 9 years before Emergence Day, Adam's wife, Elaine, a biologist, goes missing in the underground caves of Jacinto, leaving him with a young son to care for, Marcus. 4 years before Emergence Day, Marcus Phoenix enlists in the COG army against his father Adam's wishes, serving alongside his boyhood friend, Carlos Santiago. 3 years before Emergence Day, Carlos Santiago's younger brother, Dominic, or Dom, enlist. 2 years before Emergence Day, intelligence reveals the UIR is close to building its own satellite weapon system. A commando raid headed by Hoffman is staged to sabotage the UIR research station at ASFO and seize its data. Carlos Santiago and Major Helena Stroud, Anya Stroud's mother, are killed in the battle. Hoffman, Marcus, and Dom are decorated for gallantry. The seized data enables Adam Phoenix to perfect his Hammer of Dawn and orbital laser, which eventually brings the UIR to the negotiating table. 6 weeks before Emergence Day, the UIR surrenders and the Pendulum Wars are finally at an end, although a handful of small UIR states, including Groznyia, refuse to accept the armistice and vow to fight on. Emergence Day. With no apparent warning or motive, an unknown species of sentient creatures, the Locust Horde, erupts from underground caverns and attacks cities across Sera simultaneously. A quarter of Sera's population is slaughtered in the initial attack. E-Day, as it becomes known, is the start of a 15-year war for survival. 1 year after Emergence Day, the COG fighting a losing rearguard action against the Locust is driven back to Ephira, the granite plateau where the Locust can't tunnel. In a desperate bid to stop the Locust advance, new COG chairman Richard Prescott orders the destruction of all Sera's major cities using the Hammer of Dawn. Although civilians are urged to take refuge in Ephira, few can reach the plateau in time and many millions die in the hammer strikes. 2 years after Emergence Day, the Locusts, slowed but not stopped by the global destruction, are back in even greater numbers. The few civilians outside Ephira who survived the hammer strikes band together in gangs, living hand to mouth in the ruins. The Stranded, as they call themselves, see the COG as an enemy. 10 years after Emergence Day, the Locusts attack Ephira. Sergeant Marcus Phoenix disobeys Colonel Hoffman's orders and tries to rescue his father, a decision that leads to the fall of Ephira. Adam Phoenix is buried in the rubble of the Phoenix Mansion when the Locusts attack, and Marcus faces a court-martial. His death sentence is commuted to 40 years in Jacinto's notoriously brutal prison, nicknamed the Slab. 14 years after Emergence Day, the Locusts overrun the prison and the inmates are set free, except Marcus. Dom Santiago rescues him and Marcus rejoins the COG army. Using Adam Phoenix's research notes on the Locust tunnels, the COG detonates a light mass bomb underground, but the Grubs are back in a force a few weeks later. The human population of Sera has been reduced from billions to a handful, and the last COG bastion, Jacinto, is now under threat. 14 years after Emergence Day, Chairman Prescott plans a final all-out assault on the Locust Warrens by tunneling into their strongholds around Jacinto. The Locusts in turn begin their push to take the city. The COG finds that the Locusts have been waging an underground war with another aggressive species known as the Lambent, and were forced to the surface by them. Marcus and his fellow Gears find recordings by Adam Phoenix and the Locust Command Center describing how to flood the tunnels, and the COG makes a final desperate decision to wipe out the advancing Locusts. Evacuating the city, they deploy the Hammer of Dawn to sink Jacinto and drown the Locust forces. 14 years after Emergence Day, the column of refugees moves from place to place, evading the few surviving locusts, eventually settling on a remote volcanic island that the locusts never reach, Vectis, a former COG naval base. The local population has never seen a grub, but is plagued by stranded pirate gangs. Forming an unexpected alliance with the last of the UIR's Gorasnians, the COG newcomers and the islanders drive off stranded pirate gangs and begin to rebuild civilization. 15 years after Emergence Day, the brief peace is shattered when lambent lifeforms appear in the seas around Vectis, destroying ships and sinking a Gorasnian emulsion drilling platform, the last remaining source of emulsion fuel. Chairman Prescott is found to have an encrypted data disk, the contents of which he refuses to reveal to Colonel Hoffman. The remnant of the COG is now effectively besieged on Vectis, fending off lambent attacks from the sea. 15 years after Emergence Day, Dominic Santiago sacrifices himself to save his comrades, helping them advance to Azura. A great battle ensues to determine the planet's fate. Queen Mira and the Locust Horde are finally brought down by Delta Squad and Adam's machine. 40 years after Emergence Day, in this era of peace, the world almost forgets about the Locust Horde. Many civilians disappear from Settlement 5, and the First Minister of the COG, Mina Jin, begins to suspect the outsiders to be the cause of these disappearances. The son of Marcus Phoenix, JD Phoenix, lives in the outsider camps alongside his two best friends, Dal Walker and Kate Diaz. It is later proven that the outsiders are not behind the missing COG civilians. A new enemy, the Swarm, has appeared and not only kidnaps people but can add them to their army. Alongside the reunited Delta Squad, JD, Kate, and Del go on a mission to save Reyna, Kate's mother. Reyna is found too late and is put out of her misery by her daughter. With her dying breath, Reyna hands Kate a family heirloom, a medallion. It is revealed that it holds the Locust Crest, proving that Reyna and Kate are the descendants of the late Queen Mira.